I'm working in my garden today, and I thought I might share something with you. This is last year's tomato plant, and it's growing. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll zoom in on it. Such huge tomatoes, and it kind of made a comeback. And I haven't really started my new tomato plants yet. It's a little early, but it's about ready. It's around time for Southern California to start getting in the tomatoes. But it's doing so well that I'm going to stake it up, and in the meantime I'll get other tomatoes growing and peppers and different things. And if I want, I'll take it out later, and if not, I'll leave it. But what I'm going to do here is I stuck this pole in the ground, and it's so long. I've been trimming off all the brown leaves. And Gary had some masking tape he was going to throw away because it's not so good. It's kind of dried out. It's been breaking up. And I've been masking taping my big tomato plant up. Masking tape is paper. It's going to break down. It won't last that long, but it'll last long enough for my tomato plant to be staked up. And it's so much easier to use masking tape and then come back with string. Now, this isn't regular plant string, you know, that you can go buy for the garden. This is just picked it up for $1 at the thrift store, and it's kind of thin, but it works. I've been using it. So I can now stake it up with some string, or not. If I didn't care how long it stayed up, you know, the masking tape, then I wouldn't use string. But right now, I'm going to do a little bit of both and just stake it up. Masking tape is basically paper. So it'll last a few weeks, maybe even longer. And by then you can decide how you want your plant to be staked up. And like I said, I don't even know how I'm going to keep this plant. But look how good it's doing. It was pretty much all dead when I was trimming everything off, and then I realized this plant's doing really good. It's got great big growth on it, the trunk on this plant, and it's growing flowers everywhere. Look at that. And the tomatoes are so big, and there's more inside here. So I figured I'll just stake it up the best I can and see where it goes from here. Some of the really big leaves I trim off so it will feed the plant and the plant will keep going. And that worked really, really well for me. And nothing gets thrown away here as far as my vegetable plants. They're not sprayed, they're organic, they're natural. So I definitely save all. This is gold to me. Actually, this is money. This is money. All this, when I dump it in my compost bins, it's going to break down to a soil. So why would I throw it away? I have no reason to throw it away. So anything that's turning yellow, a little bit yellow, trim it off, save it. If you don't have a compost bin and you don't know where you want to put it, leave it in the tub. Just leave it. And then when you're ready, you can dump it somewhere. It's not going to go bad. Worst that's going to happen is it's going to dry out, and that's okay. But this is just amazing. I didn't realize that this tomato plant came out of here, and it just started taking off. It was last year's, and it regrew. So I thought, you know, why should I pull it out? It's doing really, really well. And I know a lot of people have come in and said, oh, get rid of your old plant, start new. I have enough space to keep both. And then as soon as the new plants take over and do really well, then I would say definitely that's the time to get out the old ones. If the old ones aren't doing well, but if they're doing well, I have no reason to get rid of them. And this one is doing really, really well. So if you want a quick fix for your plants, I would go with masking tape. Buy cheap masking tape. It doesn't have to be expensive masking tape at all. Just a cheap masking tape. And this way, you know, you can either come back and put more on if you need to, or you can change the plant around and put a different basket. It was too hard to put this tomato plant in a basket because it's basically all over the place. But it's just so full of flowers, and it's definitely for me worth trying to save. So that's what I'm doing in the garden today. Just thought I would share the masking tape thing if anybody needs to try something different and quick. It works for me. Some people use black electrical tape, and then you're going back in your garden and you're taking all the plastic off, and it's fine. I'm never going to tell anybody what to do or what not to do. Black electrical tape is fine. But with the paper tape, which is the masking tape, if you don't find it, it's just going to degrade in the ground and you won't even have to worry about it at all. But I think that's pretty good. I staked it up this way, and I'm kind of still, I'll put some more tape there. And I staked it up this way, and I'll see what happens. I mean, you'd be surprised how long masking tape will last for. I mean, there's a lot of brown in here. Yeah, I don't usually run and take all my bad plants out right away. If they're really bad, of course, you get rid of them. It's wasted space. But this one is just doing great. Like I said, it is last year's plant, but the trunk on it is really big, and it's doing really well. So I'm gonna just hope it does okay and see what happens with it. But when you need something quick, try masking tape. You can pick these up at the dollar store. And some things you can and some things you can't. I know you can pick this up at the dollar store. It's non-toxic, it's paper. Trying to see if there's anything else I want to do. I think that's it for right now. Oh, I think I'll tape that up too. Doesn't seem to hurt the plants, doesn't hurt my plants. And it's easy to work with. It's not super sticky. Let's see where I want to put this one. You know, I might just wrap it up with the one next to it. Look at that. And now it won't fall. I'm trying to get everything off the ground. I want my ground this year in my garden clear. We deal with rattlesnakes, and we have a lot of gopher snakes, which I love our gopher snakes. But I want to be able to see those rattlesnakes first before they see me. Otherwise I'd have a big problem. So I'm making sure everything is clear off the ground. I'm going to let my mint grow on the ground because it smells so good when you step on it. And I have nothing growing here, so that should work out really well. But again, you know, be sure to save all your trimmings. Trimmings are just, it's amazing. This is money. This will all break down. It doesn't matter if it's got powdering mildew. It doesn't matter. Nature breaks everything down. Think of nature. You got no one out there in nature moving things around. So, you know, it's not saying, oh, this can't go there. Let's move this there. Things grow and they drop. And that's the way it is. And it's fine. I've been doing it now, and it's just doing so great. I've done research on it, and it says everything breaks down. So that's what I'm doing. But this is just so great. I love container gardening. Even though we've got 2 acres, I love container gardening. I have more control over it. And especially here in California, with the drought that we're in, I don't even know if I can call it a drought. You know, I've lived here my whole life, and it's always had years and years of no rain, and then years go by, and then all of a sudden you get some rain. We live basically in a Mediterranean desert. So we will get some rain, and there's nothing we can do about it. And we learn to live wherever we are, make it work. And it's fine. I actually love the weather here. I like it warm. Dry is okay. So I prefer to have my containers, most of my containers, I put the holes a little bit higher. I've talked about this many times. A lot of times people ask me, your composting tubs, are the holes on the bottom? If I have tubs around and they're sitting on the ground, I generally put the holes 1 to 2 inches up. it works really, really well for me. If I have a pot sitting inside a tub, so if I put another pot in here, then the pot on the inside will have the holes on the bottom. I hope I made myself, clear on that. So it kind of depends on how I'm sitting it. If the pot's inside, I want the worms that are traveling to go up and down. I want everything to be able to go up and down, so the holes will be on there. Then you'll say, well, wait a minute. What about when it's on the ground? The problem is I want to be able to not have to water every day. So by leaving the bigger containers with a little bit of water, there's always a little bit of water in there, and so the plants won't dry out. Even your critters, soil is life, it's alive. Everything will always have some sort of water. If it dried out a little bit, it would be pretty bad. You'd start losing your animals and all the worms and everything, and they could get closer to the bottom where there's water, or if you have a pot on the top, they can come closer to the pot that's sitting in there, because always under the pot it's damp too. But anyways, today I'm working on tomatoes and I'm trimming all this, and all this will go into my compost bin. And I'm going to set up, I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to set 3 more up. I have 3 more I want to set up because I want to grow a lot of zucchini this year. And the zucchini do really, really well in my compost bin. So for now, I guess that's it for today on this. Just wanted to kind of touch base and say, hey, if you need to stake something up in a hurry, try masking tape. It doesn't hurt the plants. It doesn't choke the plants. It will hold them up good, and it's quick and it's easy, it's cheap and it's fast. And it works for me. And you can direct the plants together. You can tape them whatever way you want. I'm going to watch this one. I'll probably end up taping that one up or sticking another stake here. But masking tape is another way of doing it. I don't want this going this way. Because this, and what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to go stick this in some soil. You can take pieces of your tomato plant, stick it in soil, and about 75% of the time they will root. You've got to keep it really wet, but you can make many plants off your tomato plants. You can take these little suckers that come off the side and clip those off and put them in the ground, and they'll grow. So I'm going to stick this one somewhere since this plant is doing so well. I'm going to stick it somewhere and see if it will grow. So anyways, with that, just thought I'd give you a tip on maybe if you want to try masking tape. If you don't want to use the garden tape. I know the garden tape, you can get green plastic garden tape. And then you got to come back and cut it off if you need to move it. You'll find bits and pieces of plastic in your garden. It's not going to hurt anything, but this will degrade down. This will just disappear. Once the plant's done with it, it's all done, it will just disappear. It's good to trim your plants on whatever it's not using. If you leave too many, leaves that are starting to turn brown on it, then the plant is still trying to feed and take care of the big leaves. By removing the big leaves, it will start to throw more and more flowers because it doesn't have to put all its energy, the tomato plant, in taking care of these leaves that are starting to go brown. So, and you can't grow a leaf on the tomato plant. It has to be a sucker coming up because that's actually part of the plant. It's like cloning the plant. So a leaf won't work, so don't waste your time on a leaf. But you can use any of these. Like this, it could be cut off. Is this? No, that's not it. Sorry. It's the suckers coming in between. They look like a little tomato plant shooting off. Those are the ones you can trim and you can put in the ground or put in pots. It's better to start them in pots. You can also just stick them in water, a glass of water, and you'll see the roots start. So I'm going back to work in my garden. I think I'm pretty much done with this. Got it off the ground now. It was all over the ground and I went to go cut it this morning and it was like, wait a minute, it's full of tomatoes? They're all over in there and the plant looks so green and pretty. And it's the biggest tomato plant I've got in my garden right now because the new ones are all small. So I figured I'm going to leave it and let this thing just keep on growing. And we'll see what happens to it. If I had to, I could use masking tape or black tape and tape another pole to this if it goes too tall. So I kind of will see what happens with that. If you got any poles that are short in your garden, I would put something on it. I always worry about bending down and poking your eye or something. See, this one here is short. So I put a little bunny rabbit on it. I don't know if you can see that. Just had a little stuffed animal, made a little hole and shoved them on the top of the pole. And now if I bump it, I'm not going to hurt myself. So that's another tip too you can try. Oh well, so with that, I'm going to go back and finish up some of the other work I've got in the garden, trying to tidy it up. So have a great day. Please like and subscribe. And if you don't want to, that's fine. It'd be nice if you do. And if you want, you can hit that bell and then you'll get the notice of any time I put new videos up. I'm trying to get at least 3 up a week. It takes a long time to do that. I didn't know it was going to take that long. I didn't even expect to be doing this, really. But it's been fun. I love it. So have a great day. Don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye.